friends. Welcome to another session on the operating systems. We are into the system calls used for process management, and under these system calls, one of the important system call is a fork. Fork is one of the important essential component of any process management. So let's just look at what the fork system call is to do. So most of the cases we would like a parent to create its own copy so that the parent can continue working one way and the child continues to work in another way, but in reality the two codes are just a copy of it. The code will be a copy of that. It's not a separate code, it is the same code duplicated onto the memory, and that is done through the system call fork. So when a fork is initiated, the parent process, which consists of many components in the memory. So the parent process occupies the memory for various components like code, static variables, heap, IO descriptors, registers, stack, and all that. So that's a parent process, and when we inside the parent process, there will be one instruction that is called fork. So when that fork instruction is executed, the system call fork is executed, then we have two copies. One copy, the parent itself, and the exact replica is created in the memory where the heap is copied, static variables are copied, the code is copied, but the stack and registers, IO descriptors may have different values, and the process table now will have two processes. One, the parent process, now here it is called X, and the child process, which is referred here as Y. So there is, if you look into the memory way, then there is memory where the parent process is occupied, and when we run one fork, then a copy of that is created, which is a child. Say once we have created, one child is created, and then one more child is created, then one more child is created, and so on. So in reality what is happening is the original code is being copied at multiple places, and each one will be working differently. That depends on the process ID. So when a uh, child process is created, then the child process has to know that it is the child. So for that it will not have any process ID, so it will be 0. But the one which has created it, the one which has created it will get a process ID of child 1. So that's what we had seen in the previous example. So again we look into in detail. So what is the need of such a fork instruction or fork system call is, say when you are talking about a client server system, there is one server and there are multiple clients, and anytime any client may require the service of the server, and when one client requests some service from the server, and if the server starts serving it, then it won't be able to recognize the request from other clients. So because it is busy serving the first client, so from then onwards, if any other client request the service of the server, then it won't be able to serve others. So we want each of the client to be honored equally. In that case, what we do is when a parent process usually is meant to wait for the clients to come up. Parent process is just waiting for any client's request, and the moment it finds the request of the client, it creates a copy of itself, uh, another child process, and that child process is attached to the client. So the all the services that are provided by the server are defined under child process. Therefore, now once the client is attached to a child, then the child will be able to serve the client, and the parent is now free to wait for the next service request from another client. So when another client comes up with another service request, then it creates one more copy of itself called child of itself, and then attaches that child to the new client, and this keeps on continuing. In this example, we have seen that there are three clients at present are working with the client server system. So there is one main process which we call parent process P, and that is the purpose of that is just keep waiting for service request from the client. Anytime it gets a service request from the client, a child process is created which is exact duplication of that, and then the only difference in that code is there are two components of the code in that. One component is what parent should do, and another component is what child should do. So in this case, the parent component is just keep waiting, and whenever a request comes, create a child. So fork. Wait for the client's request, and once gets a request, fork assign the child to the client, and then keep waiting. So that's what a parent has to do, and what child has to do is various services that can be provided to the clients. All the services are defined under the child process, and all these two are distinguished with the ID which we call PID. If it is 0, then it is about the child. If it is not 0, then it is the parent. So the parent continues to execute the first component, that is waiting for the clients, and the child continues to work with the second component, that is to serve the client. So in this case, three clients are working, which are the carbon copy of the client as far as the code, static variables, heap are concerned. But the each client may be working with different IOs, and they may be working with different functionality may vary. Therefore, the stack and all that are separate. So copy of the heap from the parent is copied onto the child, copy of the static is copied onto the child's memory part and the code is also copied, and registers and stack details are maintained separately. Parent is having its own work, child is having its own work. So looking at what exactly happens, so this was the parent process, and first it is calling a fork, so it is creating a child process. So whenever a fork is executed, then a child process is created. Now you can see that the whole code is exactly same, only difference is in this case the PID is 3456 and in this case PID is 0. So every child will get a PID equal to 0, and a parent will get a PID which is not 0, that is the actual process identifier of the child. So the parent should know the ID of the child, and the child need not know the ID of the parent process. Therefore, if look at the code, if it is PID is 0, that means it is to do with the child process. So child process defined here, it will work. So here we have defined all the services that are provided by the server to the clients. All the services are provided, and the parent process is just a indefinite loop which is just waiting for uh, client's request. So whenever gets a client request, a fork statement is executed, and then a child is created, and that child now continues to uh, work for that client, give all the services the client is requesting. At the same time, the parent continues to wait for the next client to come up. When a next client comes up, another fork is executed, one more child is created, and that ID is also provided to the parent. In this case, we are only talking about one child is created. We can have multiple childs created. There, instead of having one PID, we will be having a list of PIDs. So one for each of the child, and then the logic will be little different. The parent process has to exist as long as all the child press as long as a child process is working. When all the child processes are exited, only then parent process can exit. So parent process cannot exit as long as at least one child is working. So just to make sure that all child have exited, it keeps looking at which child it has created and what is its status and all that. For that it needs PID of the child, whereas the child doesn't require PID of the parent because the other communication is not required. Parent's activity child is not going to monitor, but child's activity parent is going to monitor. Therefore, where the child is, what is its ID, and all that should be known to the parent. So this simple arrangement will help us in defining two processes in one code, and this whole code is just copied as it is. And if PID is 0, child process runs. If it is not 0, parent process will run. So in this case PID is 0, therefore child process will run. In this case PID is not 0, therefore parent process will run. The parent process in case of child client server system, the parent is just to wait for the new client to come up, and when a new client comes up, another child is created and attached to the client. So this is what a fork is meant for, and most essential component of process control is the fork system call. So that's some additional details I wanted to share regarding the fork. Hope give more clarity on this. So we continue our discussions. So keep watching. Thank you.